Good morning from downtown Blue Ridge. I'm your host, BKP. We come to you every Friday morning here from Sycamore Crossings, the shops at Sycamore Crossing, and every Friday morning downtown Blue Ridge. I share with you this morning as we wake up here in America and find out that 12 police officers were shot, 5 murdered in Dallas last night. I think most of us are in shock this morning. We don't wait for any facts. We don't wait for any investigation. We come out and we immediately identify racial issues. We immediately identify whose problem it is. President made a comment and said, this is an American problem. And I think all of us are trying to figure out what exactly that means. And it seems like on a daily basis for the last 8 years, so many times we've woke up and have tried to figure out exactly what that means when the president makes a statement. We get up in a country this morning where the FBI, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, we find out did no cross-examinations of Hillary's testimony Saturday and Hillary's testimony in other committee hearings under oath, Benghazi hearings. What's the big deal? What difference does it make? What difference does it make? We wake up in a country this morning where our government is so corrupt that President Obama was for sure months ago there'd be no indictment. Hillary was for sure there'd be no indictment. FBI did not record, I understand, did not record Saturday's interview. They call it an interview. So we find that out this morning. We look to the House committee yesterday that spent several hours with Mr. Comey, the FBI director. And we got this morning that there's possible perjury charges could be filed against Hillary, an investigation. We've proved. I guess I'm at a loss without going into great detail. Did all we do with taxpayer money yesterday, to sum it up, did all we come down to yesterday is figuring out that Hillary lied? Is that it? But folks, you know, the election's only 4 months away. We had July, almost over. August, September, October, that's 3 months, 1st of November. We're right at 4 months. Less than 120 days from now. Either we're going to go from presumptive nominees to president-elect. That needs to sink in this morning as you get up. And as you live in a country where your FBI, your Department of Justice, your President of the United States, the Clintons, the corruption is so deep, and you wake up and our police officers are being shot in the street. Well, you know, you're going to come back. Some people say, well, what's that got to do with, what about unarmed or black men in the streets of these cities that are getting shot? You know, I said yesterday on the show, we are creating zones within these cities that nobody's going to go in anymore. It's not going to happen. And there'll be no police officers. You know, they when I say the people inside that live inside these city limits of these zones, I call them danger zones, they have already made comments for years how if you're white and you call the police come. If you're black and you call the police, they don't show up. Folks, we have police officers. Why should they? Already beset by the public outcry over the the high-profile death of a black man in police custody and a rising murder rate. Baltimore police, well, he's got the choo-choo going off early this morning, ringing a bell. We're downtown Blue Ridge, that's the train. Baltimore Police Department is facing another headache. It's shrinking. This comes from Yahoo News yesterday. It's shrinking. The number of uniformed officers in the Mid-Atlantic city fell 6.1% last year and has shrunk by even more in the first half of this year, according to police data seen by Reuters and not previously reported. I can't see that far away, and I don't have the right distance on my glasses. Baltimore Police Department is shrinking. Wonder why? Did the President of the United States do everything he can to facilitate and help create the environment that we're in today? Or can he just throw out everything he's done? Okay? Folks, as we look at this tragedy this morning with five police officers shot dead in Dallas, the first memorable act as President of the United States by Barack Hussein Obama was to have a beer summit with a black professor, was at Harvard, and a police officer. When the police officer thought that the black professor was breaking into a house. Remember? So Obama invited him to the White House for a beer. And we had these pictures. Remember our first memorable moment with this guy, his beer summit. I'm not making light of anything, folks. You wake up Donald Trump is going to tell you wake up in a disaster. This is the greatest country in the world, and we're on the edge. Donald Trump says that it's a disaster, folks. Either we have a country or we don't. Now, this guy has a beer summit almost 8 years ago. I don't even know. I mean, most days I come here in the mornings and I know which direction to go, what to do, what to say. But I'm at a loss. I get up and, you try to stay focused in this country. You try to stay, enthusiastic and positive and optimistic, and I do that. But you're sitting here, folks, the best thing that happened yesterday when Comey went on the Hill is Republicans were able to get more sound bites for the election. In 4 months, there's not going to be any way that they're going to investigate Hillary, try Hillary, indict Hillary, do anything. So that's done. Comey guaranteed that. There's no way in 4 months. Yesterday's hearings on with Comey is going to result in. It's not going to result in. There's no way it's going to result in anything between now and the election. But what they did do, Chaffetz and Gowdy, what they did is they did bring out some great sound bites that will be able to be used by Comey during the election. The Clintons and the Democrats will play. It's a Republican witch hunt as usual. Okay, they'll play. The Republicans have been after me for 40 years. They'll play everything they possibly can up, and they'll say the FBI dropped this. The FBI dropped this. It's over. It's over. The FBI dropped it. Okay. The Attorney General didn't see anything. Most people in the country will say, oh, well, the FBI, a lot of people will say, oh, the FBI didn't see anything, and the Attorney General is not going to pursue it. But that's why we have the sound bites. And that's all yesterday resulted in. We had Democrats go up there yesterday and praise the FBI, their integrity, and so forth. But before I move on to the Judge Brenda Weaver, we're going to do that briefly, dismissed. Yesterday she dismissed or is in the process of being dismissed. She's asked to have the charges dropped against Mark Tomlinson and Russell Stuckey. Okay, so we're going to go over that in just a minute. But folks, we wake up in a country where the FBI, we have serious questions on what took place and the credibility of our FBI. Seriously. Wake up this morning in probably one of the biggest scandals I have seen. I have seen the pictures going around the internet of Nixon saying, I don't look that much like a crook anymore. Have you seen one of those pictures, Lonnie? You haven't? Maybe it's the different sites I go to. Is that it? It's not quite the ones you're visiting, right? All right. I've seen the pictures of Nixon. I'm not quite a crook anymore, right? Now I don't look so much like a crook now, do I, or whatever? Folks, you wake up in a country with one of the greatest scandals of corruption in our history. I know there's some of you yelling, well, you don't remember this, and in 18 this, and in 17 this, and 19 this, and this, and this. Okay, folks, this is the greatest corruption scandal in the history of the United States of America this morning. The FBI, the Attorney General, the President of the United States, and the presumptive nominee. It is. Either you have a country or you don't. Let me move on. It's 8:12. Before I do, we're here live in Blue Ridge every Friday morning. Come by and say hello at 9:30. We're going to have a pet of the week. I haven't got the Blue Ridge Humane Society brings a pet by. Last week we had Patrick. I don't know who we're going to have today, but we can't wait for that. That's at 9:30. Going to have a pet. At 10 o'clock this morning, we have an author with us this morning. We're going to have a nice discussion with this lady. I met her last night. Shepherd, Potter, Spy, and the Star Namer, Miss Peggy Miracle Solver. She will be here with me at 10 o'clock this morning. She's the author of this book. We're going to be talking to her. Dr. Whaley's going to stop by from 9 to 9:05, and then just anybody else that wants to stop in and say hello will be here till 11 o'clock this morning. Tupelo Tea is open. I seen Tom last night. Lonnie, the good news is Tom said we're open. I have to be here early. You will have tea early this morning. So we got Tom here. We're up here with Kinte, the Peruvian store, the New Blue, Holman Gift, and Broken Bull right behind me. That's where my jacket came from, the Broken Bull. I have two jackets from there. Lonnie, please keep me out of there today. I know that sounded, I know, I want people to go, and I'm telling people to come up here and go to the Broken Bull. You understand? But I've went twice. Keep me out today. I can't go in today, okay? I love the store. I've been in there 2 times. I've gone home with 2 jackets. That's the Broken Bull right behind me. Before we go to our first break this morning, Judge Brenda Weaver, Superior Court Judge Brenda Weaver, has asked the district attorney to end the case, drop the charges against Mark Tomlinson and Russell Stuckey. Mark Tomlinson is the publisher of the Fan and Focus. Now, there's a lot of controversy surrounds the publication in North Georgia. And one of the things is somebody called me and said that papers are supposed to, I understand if you're an actual newspaper, you're supposed to, in your print your certificate of ownership. Can you Google that? I mean, here's what I understand. I don't know because we're not a newspaper, so we don't do that. But I'm told when you're a newspaper, you're supposed to print your certificate of ownership or something like that. It's in print. For print newspapers, that's what I'm told. You follow what I'm saying? I don't know. But somebody called and said that they don't print that and that they don't consider themselves a newspaper. I do not know, folks. But anyhow, he's the publisher of the Fan and Focus. And that being said, Judge Brenda Weaver wrote a letter telling District Attorney B. Allison Sosby that she did not want to go any further with this case, as she would like to have the charges dropped. So everybody's out there. The charges are dropped, but it's not official yet. So let's make this clear. What happens is yesterday, B. Allison Sosby, the district attorney of the Appalachian Judicial District, entered a motion called a null pros, and she entered this motion to be signed by a judge saying that she does not plan to prosecute the case. She has said to one publication, local publication, I didn't look it up, that she felt comfortable, my words, let me back up, that she was prepared to prosecute the case. And a district attorney needs to be. Now, not taking her to task, but if a district attorney is going to bring a case and sign a warrant, the district attorney needs to know that they can prosecute their case. So this district attorney, if questioned, says she was prepared to prosecute the case. She has made that comment. I understand she was still prepared to prosecute the case and did not request the judge to end the case. That being said, it has to go, the motion has to go before a visiting judge in open court. We are waiting on the date. When the judge signs that, the case will be dropped. Now that's the details in that side. The other side of this is, I have asked a couple questions. Now, all the media came up. I asked a question this morning. If you have watched this particular case fold out, okay, how come on the drive-by media, let me go with this. How come on the drive-by media this morning, if they feel the First Amendment, freedom of the press is violated, they come out of the woodwork. They band together. Press lives matter. I'm serious. Why can't the press get past that First Amendment of freedom of the Constitution, the freedom of the press, freedom of speech, okay, and read the second one? I mean, do you realize the press, not all press, because not this company here, FetchYourNews.com. No, absolutely not. See, we believe in the First Amendment, freedom of the press, but we also believe in the Second Amendment is strong. We feel the Founding Fathers did not have any less conviction of the freedom, the right to bear arms as they did for my freedom to be here this morning. So that being said, you notice what happened in this, take this case in particular, the publisher case? The freedom of the press brought them all out, the drive-bys all out. I mean, they all drove up here. It was big story, right? They will totally switch gears, the drive-bys, on the Second Amendment, totally switch gears on the Constitution on the Second Amendment, okay? They will actually participate in helping Obama and other liberal politicians say that we need sensible, logical, okay, gun control. But you certainly don't hear them saying we need sensible, logical First Amendment rights. That being said, they all rushed up here, the drive-bys, looked at no facts in the case. My understanding is Judge Brenda Weaver could not even come in and out of the courthouse, could not even go anywhere without being, followed and tailed and asked questions. My words, I'm going to stress this, my words, my opinion is the heat of just the national media raining down on her. Her comments were that it had, I know for a fact it had the court system locked down. So you have your whole entire judicial system, was basically on lockdown up here over this case. And there are citizens in the judicial district here, in the court system, that deserved their day in court, deserved for the DA to apply themselves to their case. And that's the comments the judge made. I'm not going to question those. So she said, no, I'm not going to do this, all right? I'm going to take a brief break. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to spell out some things in this here that just because the judge said we're not going forward with the criminal action, that doesn't mean this is over. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Lonnie, take.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Better days ahead. The all-new Days Chevrolet Jasper is open with the North Georgia Mountain's biggest Chevy selection, deepest discounts, a huge new service facility, and easiest credit approval. It's more of everything you love about Days, including our down-home customer care. Plus, see our huge new and pre-owned inventory online. We've made everything better at your new Days Chevy in Jasper. Just ask Bobby Cox.
The all-new Days Chevrolet in Jasper is my winning Chevy team.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet. Find new roads.
LJ Tire Company since 1955. With a huge range of tires at the lowest price and fast, hassle-free service, LJ Tire is all you need every time. LJ Tire carries only the top brands in the industry: Cooper, Michelin, Mickey Thompson, Pirelli, and Yokohama. Stop in and let AES certified mechanics change your oil today. Life doesn't slow down for car maintenance, and LJ Tire won't either. If your car is tired of its tires, go to LJ Tire. El Rey and Ellijay. El Rey Mexican Restaurant. Family owned and operated, and a local favorite for families, parties, and meetings. Great prices, friendly service, and delicious Mexican cuisine. Patio dining available. Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1. Eat in or take away. Same location for 14 years. Open 7 days at the corner of Maddox Drive and 515. North Georgia's favorite Mexican cuisine. El Rey and Ellijay.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Save big on service at Schadenkirk. Get a full-service oil change for only $29.99. That's right. Get an oil and filter change, tire rotation, brake check, AC check, and multi-point inspection, all for just $29.99.
Give us a shot at Schadenkirk.
Get the $29.99 oil change special at Schadenkirk Ford or any of our convenient locations in the heart of Georgia.
As Bentley says, give us a shot at Schadenkirk.
Online at SchadenkirkAtlanta.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
And we're back. I am BKP. We're live in downtown Blue Ridge every Friday morning here. Shops at Sycamore Crossing. And I just tell you every week how much I enjoy starting my day here in Blue Ridge. We have woke up here in America with the shocking news that 12 police officers have been shot, five fatally wounded. I understand several, Lonnie, are in critical condition and in the hospital and in surgery right now. So we want to pray for the ones that are in surgery right now. They have there's three suspects. One shot themselves, I think the report is, and they have the two in custody. Sniper fire in Dallas yesterday amidst protest. I don't know where to end that. Folks, at 9 o'clock, Dr. Whaley's going to come by and say hello. You got anything you want to ask the doc? My back's been bothering me. I mean, we can't just let the guy come by and say hello. I mean, when your name's Dr. Whaley and you say, I'm going to come by and say hello, right? Mm-hmm. So I got to see if I get a quick checkup. Don't say anything. Don't say anything.
It's not that kind of doctor.
Don't say anything, Lonnie. Yeah, Dr. Whaley's going to come by at 9 and say hello. And then we are looking at next week, actually starting a segment here on Friday mornings called With Dr. Whaley here, where you'll be able to send us what's ailing you recently, you know. At 10 o'clock, Shepherd, Potter, Spy, and Star Namer, Peggy Miracle Consolver, it will be here with me, Arthur. I'm going to talk to her at 10 o'clock. 9:30, we have a Pet of the Week from the Blue Ridge Humane Society here. Pet of the Week at 9:30. Okay, we're going to go briefly here. Russell Stuckey, in the case of the journalist goes to jail. Russell Stuckey, his attorney, wants a trial. He says he wants a trial. Okay. Said they could just come back and do this to him again. So he wants a trial he's asking for. He doesn't want it just dismissed. The thing that I want to bring up this morning is I want to ask everybody to see how many local media outlets, okay, have come to the publisher's defense of his First Amendment rights and feels they've been violated. I want you to take a look at that. I want you to take a look at this morning. And these are my words. I have to say it's my words. I haven't consulted with anybody in Blue Ridge. I want you to look at this morning why the articles in the News Observer here in Fannin County, the legal organ. I want you to stop and think about why they have not gone as strong to pursue, or to defend his First Amendment rights. Because I am going to tell you this, it doesn't matter if there's a county with 5 newspapers in it. It doesn't matter who you are. If your First Amendment freedom of press rights have been violated, you're going to have your local journalists come out in your defense and write stories basically in your defense. But I want to know why you don't see the outpour of defense from the News Observer. What I'm reading, I read their article, seemed to be very balanced, very fair on this topic. It brought in some of the facts that we know here in North Georgia. I want to know why the Fannin Sentinel has a nice little viewership here in Fannin County, pretty strong publication, both of them. And why Fetch Your News? Why 3 media outlets? We're an online news network. They are publications. So why 3 media outlets in one county have not gone the length that Angela Merchant, Mark Tomlinson's attorney, and Rhonda Cook at the AJC have gone to help fire up the national media about journalists getting arrested. Now, that being said, how's my audio considering the construction site? We got a construction site next door, and I'm glad to hear them working and starting up the generators here in Blue Ridge. We got a construction site we're contending with. But why have they not come out in this writing articles in major defense? Why? Now, here's the thing that's interesting. All of the facts in the case remain. All the facts remain. All the articles are out there claiming his claims of being denied his open records request. All the articles are out there claiming that he was not given, he had a legal subpoena. All the articles are out there claiming that he felt their checks were illegally cashed. Okay? These articles are out there. Okay? We know by the posting of the subpoena he put online that he did take down, had the account numbers. Now, if he did not have the open records of the checks, he did not have the checks, he was denied the checks, where did he get these account numbers? Huh? Where did he get these account numbers? Did Russell Stuckey actually send discovery in a case? Stay with me, folks. See, this is the things that none of the drive-bys looked at. They get a subpoena, they got the account numbers of the judge that's not named in the case, Judge Bradley, okay? Did Russell Stuckey, you see, when you're preparing to prove, all I keep hearing is how, how it was a legal subpoena, and how all they were doing were they were going to subpoena the records, say that 3 times fast, right? That they wanted to subpoena the records to show in court that Rhonda Stubblefield's attorney's fees have been paid. Nobody talks about the day in court that they actually hadn't opened the CD they got from the bank. Nobody talked about the day in court that they never actually reviewed those CDs. But they wanted to see if Rhonda Stubblefield, so they had an account number. Now, in a case, did Russell Stuckey send Lynn Dawes discovery asking for discovery of these checks that Lynn Dawes supposedly went in and got from the commissioner's office and supposedly gave to Russell Stuckey? That supposedly Mark Tomlinson ended up saying to somebody he had the checks. Nobody talks about that. Poor journalist went to jail. Now, I am going to say this. Mark Tomlinson keeps saying that he wanted to check to make sure that no more money was misappropriated than what was paid out to Rhonda Stubblefield. And they make an issue that the county used taxpayer money. The county used taxpayer money to pay his illegal bills. Now, I have a question for everyone out there that is on his side on Facebook, putting all the posts. Okay? I would like for one person to step up and ask who brought this case against Rhonda Stubblefield. Who brought this into court? Who lost the case that resulted in the bill being $16,000? Who did that? Mark Tomlinson. I wrap up by telling you, as soon as the judge signs this motion, folks, see, the media is going to go away. They're going to go home. They're going to go to Atlanta. They're going to go wherever they went, all right? The AP is not going to pick this up any longer. The JQC is going to go through the actual facts of the case. And this is the one problem that they've always had, is the actual facts. So this story has a coin toss, folks. Either the biggest corruption scandal in North Georgia is going to come out, or either the facts are going to prove the other side. But it's one way or the other, and it's going to happen here. Okay? Now, the JQC is going to look at the facts. The Attorney General is going to look at the facts that the guy was never denied any open records request. He's going to look at the facts. The Attorney General is probably going to make a statement. Sam Owens is going to make a statement that he's reviewed all the facts, watch and see, this is in time, and added open records. But nobody will be here. They'll all be gone home. They'll be off to the next big story. But I'll be here. I'll be here. Because guess what? As soon as the judge signs that order of the court, that case is public. And guess what? There may have been some people that were witnesses that said some things on transcript that are going to be very interesting. And we plan to publish whether the checks were cashed or not. And we plan to look closer on whether the checks were cashed or not. So wait and see. Because the one thing remains here in North Georgia that did not leave with the media, and that's the facts in the case. So we'll move on past that. The judge is going to render. Did you look that up? You can't find what I'm talking about? I may not be saying it correctly. I'll have to ask the person again.
The big thing I found was that it has to have the owner's name published, but it never said anything about certificate.
It has to have the owner's name published. Right. Okay. Well, when it says it has to have the owner's name published, I'm being told, because I don't know the newspaper business, and I'm being told that's called a certificate of ownership. So you find they have to have the owner's name published. Okay. Well, I don't know if that's exactly the same, but I'm being told that a certificate. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to take a brief break. When we return, we're going to be looking at more of the Dallas story this morning that is rocking this country. We're going to be looking more at President Obama's comments. And also, we have our guest coming in at 9:30. Our Pet of the Week, Dr. Whaley at 9. Pet of the Week at 9:30. And at 10 o'clock, our author, Shepherd, Potter, Spy, and star namer, Peggy Miracle Consolver. Okay, Lottie, take us to break.
I'm Sheriff Dane Kirby, and I'll stand up for you.
I'm Stacy Nicholson, Sheriff of Gilmer County, and I will stand up for you.
Stand up and speak out. No matter how rich, cool, talented you believe yourself to be, how you treat people ultimately tells all. I am Allison Sosby, District Attorney, and I'll stand up for you.
Days ahead. The all-new Day Chevrolet Jasper is open with the North Georgia Mountain's biggest Chevy selection, deepest discounts, a huge new service facility, and easiest credit approval. It's more of everything you love about Days, including our down-home customer care. Plus, see our huge new and pre-owned inventory online. We've made everything better at your new Day Chevy in Jasper. Just ask Bobby Cox.
The all-new Day Chevrolet in Jasper is my winning Chevy team.
Better days ahead. Day Chevrolet. Find new roads.
LJ Tire Company since 1955. With a huge range of tires at the lowest price and fast, hassle-free service, LJ Tire is all you need every time. LJ Tire carries only the top brands in the industry: Cooper, Michelin, Mickey Thompson, Pirelli, and Yokohama. Stop in and let AES certified mechanics change your oil today. Life doesn't slow down for car maintenance, and LJ Tire won't either. If your car is tired of its tires, go to LJ Tire.
My cognitive APIs can help any business better connect with its audience.
You should try writing a book. Find a remote hotel.
Operated and a
Bring the family.
Favorite for
I do not think that is a good idea.
Friendly service and delicious Mexican cuisine.
Patio dining available.
Come sing in Carlos's Cantina every Friday 9 to 1.
Eat in or take away.
Same location. for 14 years. Open 7 days.
Andrea Sycon, medical doctor from Cleveland Clinic.
Watson, let's review the electronic medical record of the next patient.
No problem.
It's a pretty huge file.
Done. Sorry for the wait.
That was quick.
As part of our research, I also compared lab results.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East LJ. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Save big on service at Schadenkirk. Get a full-service oil change for only $29.99. That's right. Get an oil and filter change, tire rotation, brake check, AC check, and multi-point inspection, all for just $29.99.
Give us a shot at Schadenkirk.
Get the $29.99 oil change special at Schadenkirk Ford or any of our convenient locations in the heart of Georgia.
As Bentley says, give us a shot at Schadenkirk.
Online at SchadenKirkAtlanta.com.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Good morning, folks. Good morning from downtown Blue Ridge. I'm your host, BKP, North Georgia's only live online morning show. We're coming to you from the shops at Sycamore Crossing, Tupelo Tea, Kinty, the Peruvian store, New Blue, right here, Home and Gift, and the Broken Bull right behind me. Folks, between 8 and 9, I'm kindly out here alone, and I get to hear, it's a beautiful way to start my Friday morning, and it's a great way to launch into the weekend. We hear the train in the background of Blue Ridge, Georgia. We see construction going on. The sun is shining. It won't be long here that we start seeing visitors and guests that are coming up to visit for the weekend, start walking their dogs and visiting all the shops. But I want to say something this morning, and sometimes I have to try to keep. We come up here, we set up early in the morning, get things going. Lonnie and I fuss back and forth at each other, see if the sound's right. But you know what? I come here and I'm setting up and I'm almost done, and Brian Jones, Blue Ridge City police officer, comes up and says, "Good morning, how are you?" Now, let me back up, folks. Let me back up, because if you're in small town America this morning, there's a good chance you know the police chief. If you're in small town America, there's a good chance you know your sheriff, you know some of the deputies, you know some of the officers. And I want to encourage you to encourage them today. I want to ask anyone out there this morning to call your sheriff, call deputies, call city police officers, call the chief of police. Just say thank you. I really want to do that. I think we need to do that immediately. I think we hear our elected officials come out and give half-hearted condolences, half-hearted support comments. We hear that. And then they break into racial and America's problem, and we're going to have to look at the realities we live in. And I'm going to ask you this morning to call that police, walk up to them. If you're on a city street today, walk up and say thank you. There's no conversation needed, just thank you. I'm standing here this morning and I'm getting ready, and I try not to get emotional, but I'm getting ready for the show, and I'm in small town USA. I'm in America, Blue Ridge, Georgia, and Brian Jones comes up and he says, "Good morning, how are you?" City police officer here in Blue Ridge. I said, "Great, how are you?" "Well, I'm doing my business rounds and I'm doing my business checks, and I do my rounds and I'm checking into businesses, and I wanted to say good morning and see how everything was." Brian Jones, thank you for stopping by and saying good morning. So that's what I really want to say to everybody out there. Please, I beg you, call your police officers today, your deputies, your sheriff, and say thank you. Folks, President of the United States, we got a governor in Minnesota. I forget the guy's name, and it's not so much I forget his name as I don't want to know his name. And he comes out and he says, "This is a racial issue. We don't have no time for the facts to come in. This is a racial issue." And he says, if the guy that was stopped in Minneapolis, St. Paul, would have been white, this wouldn't have happened. Really? You're going to stand at a podium and this is the comment you're going to make after this guy is dead? Not long after. That's what we needed. And you have the President of the United States saying this is America's problem. This is an American problem. Folks, I said when we started, don't forget, the administration started with controversy with our law enforcement. They started it from day one. The most memorable moment to me is the beer summit. And it involved a police officer, I think up at Harvard. We good? All right. I think it involved a police officer up in Harvard. Was a beer summit. Now, the president said this morning in Poland, in the days ahead, we need to consider the realities. We have people making outcries this morning that it is time to retrain our law enforcement. It's time to retrain them to do what? Accept the society we live in today? See, that's what they're really asking you to do. Every time they say retrain, it's time to retrain our law enforcement. To do what? Accept and learn how to deal with the crumbling society, the moral decay, the inner city, the drugs. That's what we need to train them to do. President Obama says we need to look at the realities of this. Mr. President, we're not looking at the realities of anything in this. We never do. I mean, the moral decay and corruption in this country and decline, we're not looking at any of it. And we have to retrain our police officers. I just don't even know where to go with that. Remember, retrain our police officers is code word for not retrain or look at or evaluate us, not evaluate our families, not evaluate the social decline and what we're going through in this country. See, to them, that's not the realities. But I'm sorry, folks, to me, that's the realities. Because I'm telling you what, if you're not in front of the drugstore, I know everybody keeps saying it's a convenience store, but if you're standing in front of a well-lit store at 2 a.m. in the morning and everybody's out front, that's not a convenience store, that's a drugstore. And you're selling CDs, I don't know. Maybe go home, watch a couple episodes of TV, something on TV, go to bed at 10 o'clock, get up and go to work next day, take care of your family. I don't know, just saying. I'm your host, BKP. I I can really get sidetracked on that, and I think I should probably back off. I think I should back off before I say something I shouldn't, not something I regret.